Welcome to episode 174 of the Hurricane Mike Show, where we will be recapping the New Orleans Saints 20-17 win over the Carolina Panthers. Dad, the Saints swept the team that Atlanta got swept by. Because why, Dad?
Because the Atlanta Falcons suck.
Yes, they do. What's good, Jerry? Wait, hold up.
Break it out, boy. Break that drum out.
I told you this is going to happen. We don't need this dustpan. I told you this is going to happen. Sweet. Yeah. If y'all wondering why I'm doing some sweeping right now, usually I wouldn't do this on the podcast, but them Panther fans are talking some reckless, bro. You just gotta sweep up their tears. Sweep up their tears, man. Who that nation? We sweep up them tears. But yeah, Jerry says 2 wins in a row. Yes, it is 2 wins in a row. And before you're like, it's the Buccaneers, it's the Panthers. Man, shut up. We just beat the 2 best teams in the division.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we just beat the 2 best teams in the division. And if you're like, with the NFC South's trash. We're part of the NFC South. And you want to know a funny part about it all? Every team in the division called us trash to begin the season. Now, our record might be trash. That part's true. But if we beat Atlanta in Week 18, guess who we would have beaten at least one time? Every single team in the division. The same division where everybody mocked us when Derek Carr retired. They're like, man, even Derek Carr didn't want to be there. They mocked us when we drafted Tyler Shuck, saying, oh, how y'all draft Tyler Shuck over Shedeur Sanders? Mocked us when we hired Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore? He was only good because he coached the Eagles. Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. Appreciate you, Mike, for checking out. Yeah, man, anytime, Jerry. Anytime. But let's get on to this game. Saints pulled it off as they beat the Carolina Panthers 20-17. Now, scoring summary. The Panthers started out hot. Like, both times we played Carolina this season, the Panthers scored a touchdown on their opening drive, and they still lost. So, yeah. Eat that. With 6:39 left in the first quarter, Rico Dowdle ran in a 4-yard touchdown. Ryan Fitzgerald hit an extra point. Panthers went up 7-0. With 3:32 left in the second quarter, Devin Neal ran in a 4-yard touchdown, followed by Charlie Smythe's extra point to tie at 7-7. And then with 21 seconds left in the half, Ryan Fitzgerald hit a 40-yard field goal for the Panthers to go up 10-7. And then in the third quarter, 9:54 left, Bryce Young threw a 32-yard touchdown to Jalen Coker, followed by Ryan Fitzgerald extra point. And then we were down 17-7. And them Panther fans, man, they started to be like, man, we finna beat these Saints, man. They don't know what they're talking about. But the man, the myth, the legend, Tyler Shuck, the daddy of the NFC South, had to come out. Man, Panther fans, I am talking to you. And don't worry, just like I made a video about the Bucs fans, I'm going to make one for y'all. It might not be tonight, but I'm going to get to it. It might be tonight, might not be, but I'm going to get to it. I'm going to make a video just for y'all, just like I did the Bucs fans. Don't worry, it's coming. Don't think I forgot about y'all. We were down 17-7. Man, that first game was a fluke, y'all. Okay. 1:56 left in the third quarter. Charlie Smythe hit a 42-yard field goal to make it 17-10. And then with 2:29 left in the game, Tyler Shuck threw a 12-yard touchdown to Chris Olave. Charlie Smythe hit the extra point to tie it at 17. And then with 2 seconds left in the game, the 47-yard game winner was hit by Charlie Smythe. Dad, I'm going to tell you this one thing. What is the main thing today for the Saints. 3-point victory in the Caesars Superdome against division rival Carolina Panthers, 20-17.
The main thing is definitely Charlie Smythe with his game-winning field goal. I mean, he's been perfect so far in his 2 games here. So,
well, now he missed the field goal against Tampa Bay.
Did he really? Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
That don't count.
yeah.
The main thing is still, I was kind of hoping that they'd go for that 67-yarder. You know, before they got closer, I was like, man, let me see what this dude's legs all about. But no, they went ahead and got a little closer for him. So I guess that was good. So yeah, that was the main thing. Charlie Smythe, not Smith.
Yeah. My main thing is I like Tyler Shuck. Boy, do I like him. I ain't gonna lie. At the end of that game when he got hurt, I was like, what? But he's gonna be fine. He's gonna be fine. I think they just took him out just so they didn't risk him because he. Did you see that time when he sold for that penalty?
Which one?
At the end of the game.
When he got hit late?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it was a penalty. But, man, he made sure he was getting that call. Like when he got hit late, he was like, ah! Man, he turned into his inner LeBron James there. He was like, ah!
That hurt.
And, boy, it works, man. Them drinks. Man, you saw Bryce Young, that short dude, he was like, it's weird. Last week we had Panther fans rooting for us. This week we had Bucks fans rooting for us. And week 18 of last year we had Atlanta fans rooting for us. Man, we just help out everybody. Man. But let's talk about what's up, Connor. Let's talk about Tyler Shuck's resiliency. Kellen Moore said that during either a press conference this week or during the game or something. I mean, it popped up on the screen. Tyler Shuck. It doesn't matter if he's down 10 points, 16 points, 20 points, 50 points, 1,000 points, 1 billion points. The game is never over with Tyler Shuck behind center. I understand we've only won 4 games. Tyler Shuck has won 3 of them. And let's look at the games that we played under Tyler Shuck. And I'm only counting the starts. The Rams game. We got blown out. But in his fairness, he was never going to beat the Rams. That was just never going to happen. Second game. Against the Panthers. We were down 7-0 early. Panthers never scored again. Tyler Shuck led us to that victory. Third one was against Atlanta. We lost by 2 touchdowns. But Tyler Shuck was the only reason we were he was driving us down the field. If we didn't have Taysom Hill do all those cute gadget plays, we probably would have won that game. And after that, who did we play? The Miami Dolphins, the same team that we were down 16 points to. But guess what? We came back. We didn't win. But we only lost by 4 points. And then we played Tampa Bay. Tyler Shuck led you to a game-winning touchdown drive. And then you played against Panthers, led you to a game-winning field goal. Tyler Shuck is the truth. And if there was any chatter of the Saints drafting a quarterback next year, it ended. It ended officially today. It should have already been over, but it officially ended today. I understand he had his little fumble on 4th down, but that didn't really count. I understand, okay. And look, Fernando Mendoza won the Heisman. Good for him. He can go do something with the Jets. Or the Browns or something. I don't care where he goes. The Raiders. I don't care where he goes. The Raiders probably do need him the most, but I don't care where he goes. Tyler Shuck is the truth, and if you have any complaints about Tyler Shuck, leave them at the garbage can. First quarter, Panthers outscored us 7-0. Second quarter, Saints outscored them 7-3. Third quarter, Panthers outscored us 7-3. Fourth quarter, Saints outscored them 10-0 to win 20-17. Now let's go over the Saints, man. Tyler Shuck was 24 for 32, 272 yards, 1 touchdown. Did get sacked 5 times, which was not encouraging. But, he had a 110.4 rating. And Spencer Rattler was 0 for 1 and had a 39.6 rating. I don't know how it's 39.6 when he threw 1 pass and didn't even complete it, but okay. But, yeah. And the only reason Rattler even threw a pass is because, just for precautionary reasons. So how do you feel Tyler Shuck did today? And Spencer Rattler's no pass.
Spencer did well, and Tyler did well, but Spencer Rattler did awesome. I mean, he came in and he did exactly what the coaches wanted him to do: roll out right and throw it out of bounds and waste 4 seconds. Good job, Spencer. You saw him how he was congratulating him as he was coming off the field, like, good game. Good. Man, come on. But no, like I said last week, I was done with the whole drafting a quarterback situation because, I seen my guy, I got my guy, we're good. So, yeah, like you said, he's going to be playing in New York next year. Mendoza, he's going to be playing in New York or Las Vegas next year.
Yeah, I mean, if the Saints are to draft a quarterback, they have to look at the quarterback and they have to predict if he can be better than Tyler Shuck in 5 years. And I'm sorry, there's not a single quarterback in this class that I can confidently say he's a better QB right now than Tyler Shuck.
And it's weird because remember, I think Lenora Sellers said he's coming back to school next year. Did you hear that?
I maybe said that, but I didn't hear nothing about it.
I think I saw that. Well, anyway, for the last year or so, people have been saying, this is going to be the draft of the quarterbacks. I mean, you got Lenora Sellers up there. He might be in the top 2 quarterbacks. Now he's going back to school because he ain't even going to be a first rounder. And, we all know what happened to Nussmeier.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, what you think of 1 year is going to happen can change all in a year. And it's pretty much changed. Nobody was even talking about Mendoza. Now it looks like he's going to be the first quarterback pick. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I think a couple months ago, I remember you sent me something where I had first pick of the draft, Saints, Lenora Sellers. It was after like the first or second week of college football. It's like, brother in Christ, Lenora Sellers. I mean, like Lenora Sellers. Look, I don't like drafting quarterbacks that can only run and do nothing else but run. That's what Sellers is. Like Marcel Reed, Lenora Sellers, Jalen Milroe when he was playing at Alabama. These QBs, like I, for example, like a guy like Tyler Shuck, where he's not one-dimensional. Okay? Let's see. Tyler Shuck will turn the Saints franchise around. I think if there's anybody that can do it, I think Shuck is the chosen one. I think Tyler Shuck's the chosen one. I really do. I'm not just saying that because I'm a Saints fan and I hope it happens. Obviously, I hope it happens, but I think genuinely, because y'all know how I do, I don't like putting my bias in the middle of the way. I think Tyler Shuck's the chosen one. Like, the last 2 teams that we beat were not terrible teams. Like, we beat the Buccaneers and the Panthers, the 2 teams that are fighting for the South. And Tyler Shuck proved that he is the best quarterback in this division. Yes, I said it. I said it. Baker Mayfield is good, but the last couple games, he's been playing like some trash. Bryce Young. You mean the same dude that lost to Tyler Shuck twice?
Bryce Young, right? I mean, our defense had some laps today. We made Bryce Young look like Steve Young sometimes with his legs.
Yeah, he did.
We got to tighten that up on defense. I don't know where was the quarterback spies at. If we just didn't have that in the game plan, we should have.
Yeah. But anyways, let's talk about this running game. Tyler Shuck was the leading rusher today. As he had 8 carries for 32 yards, 4 yards carry. Longest run being a 13-yard gain. Devin Neal had 7 carries for 28 yards, 4 yards to carry, and a touchdown. Longest run being a 15-yard gain. Evan Hull had 4 carries for 12 yards, 3 yards to carry. Longest run being a 6-yard run. Audric Estime, 3 carries for 11 yards, 3.7 yards to carry, and his longest run was a 5-yard gain. Taysom Hill, 2 carries for 2 yards, 1 yard to carry. His longest run was a 2-yard gain. Good for him. And Mason Tipton had 1 carry for -4 yards, -4 yards to carry, and his longest run was a -4-yard gain. Mainly because he had that fumble, which counted as a backwards play. What's going on, Atlanta Falcons fandemic? What's going on? Nothing much, just, celebrating a victory over the Carolina Panthers. Something that y'all can do, but hey, it's all good, right? So how do you feel about the Saints running game today against the Panthers?
It wasn't much to write home about. I mean, Devin Neal had a couple good runs until he left the game early with a hamstring injury, so we got to watch that. But other than that, there was really not a whole lot of room to run. The Panthers do have a good defensive line. I mean, we knew that coming in, so running was pretty tough today.
Yeah, I mean, we saw some progress. Like, we saw some promise with the run game. Devin Neal had that nice touchdown run midway through the second quarter. And, I mean, the Saints had their longest drive of the season as they went 95 yards to the end zone. And most of that was the run game, Now, we got bailed out with some penalties. I mean, the only reason the Saints were able to get a game-winning field goal was because of a penalty. Like, that was a bold call by Kellen Moore. Because if the refs did not call that penalty, we were not spiking that in time. And even if we did, I mean, you want to say 67-yard field goal, but does Charlie Smythe have the – I mean, he probably does, because the kick he made probably would have went from 67, so maybe, I don't know. Nice win for you guys. I keep telling the Saints fans, y'all something to build on and Tyler Shuck. Yeah, man, look. Tyler Shuck. I remember draft day. When the Saints drafted Tyler Shuck, I was like, okay. Like, and I even have it on YouTube. I'm pretty sure I was like, okay, I wanted Shedeur Sanders, but I'm not mad at the pick. Like whenever I said I wasn't happy, like I was not mad at Tyler Shuck. I wasn't mad at the pick. It's just that I didn't think he was the best QB on the board. And I thought you could have got him in like the 3rd round. However, a lot of Saints fans should be ashamed of themselves because they went on Instagram, they tore this one and new one. Like, they act like this man committed a whole crime just for being drafted by the Saints. And boy, he's like, he didn't have to play for us. He could have pulled like an Eli Manning. But he's like, you know what? I'm going to turn the Saints around. And that's what he's doing right now. We might be 4-10, okay? I'm not saying the Saints are going to uneliminate themselves from the playoffs and go win the Super Bowl this season because that's literally impossible at this point. But Tyler Shuck, and look, I've been critical about Shuck, but I also give credit where credit is due. Is Tyler Shuck the most perfect quarterback? No. We even saw it today. They were like on that fumble on 4th and 1. If he does not fumble the ball, Saints probably score that drive. But you know what makes Tyler Shuck so great, and why I will stand on this and probably die on this? Why he is the best quarterback in the NFC South, whether you want to hear it or not. The man has resiliency. Baker Mayfield collapsed Thursday against Atlanta. Michael Penix kept collapsing every time he had a chance to go win the game. Bryce Young collapsed today. There is not one game Tyler Shuck showed this season that he collapsed. Like, he had bad games. I'm not saying this entire season's been great. He's had bad games. But he followed those bad games with consistent performance. We are on a 2-game winning streak for the first time since last season. When we beat Atlanta and the Browns.
The announcers use the word resiliency because of the injuries that Tyler Shuck overcame in college. And he was getting beat like a drum today thanks to Cesar Ruiz, who got pulled. I don't know if you saw that, but he got pulled late in the game. There was somebody else playing right guard. Hopefully they keep him on the bench, bro.
Yeah. I saw that. Like, Cesar Ruiz, we signed him to a contract extension, So I don't know when his contract is up, but okay. Atlanta Falcons Pandemic said, "Yeah, I wouldn't care who we put a uniform on. I'm going to support my Falcon player. I don't care if it's Daffy Duck." Yeah, that's what I'm saying, and that's why I don't understand when people say tank, tank, tank. Okay, maybe sometimes it's necessary, but like when some people would just be like tank, tank. Why? Okay, maybe the season's a wash, but some of the guys that is on your team, they're going to be back next year. At least half of the people will be. So why would you not want them to win? Even if the number one pick is on the line or a top 5 pick's on the line. Who cares?
Look,
do you want to win or not? Do you want to win next season or not?
This is the reason we need to be optimistic. Because, yes, we're 4-10. But, I mean, we're building a winning culture here. We're not tanking. We're learning how to win. I mean, in Dennis Allen's 7-win seasons, 8-win seasons, or whatever, have you ever thought to yourself, man, we're building a culture here? No. We, the energy was always low. It always looked like, man, we're not competing. Well, even in a 4-win season right now, every week these players are competing, these coaches are competing, and that's a good sign for the future. Building a winning culture here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Ethan said Chuck and Dart are easily Rookie of the Year. Yeah, look, another thing that Saints fans like to say, we could have had Jackson Dart. Okay, look, Dart, I'll give credit where credit is due. Dart has been proving me wrong a little bit because I was actually critical on Dart. But if Jackson Dart was on this team, you really think it would be a better team? Tyler Shuck is doing this with Devon Vele.
Hey,
and I'm about to say,
Mike.
And I'm about to say this, huh?
Y'all realize Jackson Dart and the Giants lost to the Commanders today at home? I mean, we're talking about why we've been talking about Jackson Dart in the Rookie of the Year conversation? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, look, Jackson Dart. Okay, he might. Did Brandon Aubrey just miss a field goal? Brandon Aubrey just missed a field goal. Oh my God, is this real life? Okay, I'm sorry. I just got distracted because Brandon Aubrey just missed a field goal. That's. I'm scared. Anyways, like I said, Tyler Shuck is doing this with Devon Vele, and I'm about to say something that might be controversial to some people, but I don't care. Devon Vele is your best receiver. Okay.
And I think Vele left with an injury as well today. That's why you saw Kevin Austin Jr. in there.
Exactly, like, bro, this team is not built to win games, and yet Tyler Shuck does not care. He's winning these games by himself.
We're winning. We're building a winning culture, and that's with no talent on this team. I think if we start getting some talent, get some talented receivers and running backs and offensive linemen, think what we can do next year. Come on. Let's go.
Yeah. Tyler Wigg said Saints should have easily won more than 4 games, but that's okay. We will be a big threat next year. Yeah, look, even if we win like 7 or 8 games next year, that's fine. Because Tyler Shuck, the goal for these next 2 years is just to see what you have in Shuck. And look, the Saints already completed one part of the rebuild. Finding your franchise quarterback. That's the hardest part. That's the hardest part. And they did it in the first year of Kellen Moore. And there is some stuff that Kellen Moore needs to work on too. Like calling timeouts. He has to realize that those exist at the end of the first half. Instead of letting 50 freaking seconds wind off. He has to know that they exist. But if he gets that down, you can't say Kellen Moore had a bad game coaching today. Like, okay, maybe some of the play calls are questionable, but to be a head coach, you have to lead these guys. And it does not get, like, it doesn't take much, it takes a lot to lead a group of people. Like, you can call offensive plays, but you got to lead these guys. They were down 10 points to the Panthers today, and he led them. he did not take his foot off the gas. He let Tyler Shuck, like he didn't bench Tyler Shuck after fumbling that ball. He didn't scream at him. He didn't rip him a new one. He said, go back out there, win us this football game. And what did Tyler Shuck do? He went out there and he won us this game. A game that the Panthers had won. This is probably the most improbable win of the entire season by the Saints. The Giants game, okay, maybe the Giants could beat us, but the first time we played the Panthers, yeah, I mean, you technically came back, but you had a 3-point lead most of the entire game. The Buccaneers game, it was back and forth, but the Panthers game, you were down 10 points in the third quarter. So yeah, Evan says, I mean, we could have won at least 6 or 7 games right now if Chuck started out the whole season, but everything happened for a reason. I have a feeling we will be better next year. And look, I think honestly, starting Spencer Rattler was probably the best move because if Tyler Shuck starts the season, do you think, if Tyler Shuck started the season, maybe we've been a little bit better. But we've seen a lot of times where quarterbacks that don't play immediately do better than quarterbacks that do. Like Mahomes, he sat out most of his entire rookie year, and he ended up becoming Mahomes. Brady, he sat a few games, then became Tom Brady. But then you got guys like Jamarcus Russell, who was an immediate starter. Didn't go too well. So yeah. Anyways. Now, let's see. Fun fact, Eric McCoy is the top 4 center within the last 2 seasons with the 11 or 12 games he has started, if you didn't know that. And also another thing, Luke Fortner, that dude sucks, bro. Like Gail Benson tried convincing us, why firing Mickey Loomis is ridiculous? Because of Luke Fortner. The man committed 2 false start penalties. Like, bro, you're a center. But yeah, anyways, let's talk about these receivers. Chris Olave, 6 receptions for 85 yards, 14.2 yards a catch, 1 touchdown. Longest is an 18-yard gain and got 9 targets. Devon Vele, 5 receptions for 69 yards, 13.8 yards a catch. Longest was 17 and had 6 targets. Audric Estime, 3 receptions for 39 yards, 13 yards a catch. 19 was his longest and had 3 targets. Kevin Austin Jr., 3 receptions for 33 yards, 11 yards a catch. Longest was an 18-yard gain and had 5 targets. Juwan Johnson, 4 receptions for 30 yards, 7.5 yards a reception. Longest reception was a 12-yard gain and had 4 targets. Jack Stoll, 1 reception for 7 yards, 7 yards a catch. Longest reception was a 7-yard gain and had 1 target. Mason Tipton, 1 reception for 5 yards, 5 yards a catch. Longest was a 5-yard gain and had 2 targets. Devin Neal, 1 reception for 4 yards, 4 yards a catch. Longest reception was a 4-yard gain and had 1 target. Evan says, Panthers' second game was better for us. Best win of the season. Bucks game, we was gifted 7 fourth downs attempted by Tampa. Would have scored 30 to 33 points if they was competent, but the last 2 wins. We're the most fight I've seen from the team this year. Felt like we was tanking under Rattler. At least Shuck is trying to make something work. I mean, look, this is what we're not going to do. We're not going to just shit on Rattler. Because, was Rattler great? No. And is Tyler Shuck better than Rattler? Absolutely. But, we were not tanking under Rattler. And I stand on this. Even though I do think moving to Shuck was the better decision, Rattler, what did he have to work with? Yes, he had Shaheed. I'll give him that. But what are you supposed to do when Chris Olave dropped the ball in the end zone against the 49ers? A lot of people forget this, too. Saints could probably won 6 or 7 games even with Rattler. 49ers game, Chris Olave had a wide-open touchdown that he dropped. The Cardinals game, Juwan Johnson had a touchdown that he dropped. He lost by 7. 49ers game, he lost by 5. Seahawks game was an absolute sham. But I'm sorry, even if Chuck started that game, you're probably not winning that game anyway. The Bills game, Rattler played pretty good in that Bills game. We almost won that game. If Brandon Cooks caught the touchdown, we would have probably beat the Bills. So, was Rattler great? Absolutely not. But for us to be up here saying we were tanking under Rattler, I don't think that's the case.
And another thing, a lot of close losses early in the season. We also had a field goal kicker that couldn't, make a field goal. That probably contributed to some of those losses as well.
Yeah. Tyler Wigg said everyone is mad of wasting a good draft pick. LOL. Who gives an F? Losing is contagious. Winning is more important. That's what I'm saying. It's like, yeah, draft picks are cool and all, but like, how? Like, I know a lot of 5th round picks that turned out to be better than the 1st overall pick. Like Puka Nacua. He's a top 10 receiver, or no, he's top 5 at bare minimum, top 10. He was picked like the 5th or the 6th round. He wasn't like the Rams didn't tank for him. They drafted him like a normal team. Bro had McCoy for like 90% of his games, and Chuck didn't have most his linemen, but Ruiz is terrible, always causing penalties. Okay, look, I understand. I understand. But actually, if you want to play that card, McCoy got hurt when Rattler was starting. I understand he had him for 90% of the games. But if we're playing that card, then with Rattler, Chris Olave. Last year with Rattler, he didn't have Chris Olave. He didn't have Rashid Shaheed last year. He didn't have no Eric McCoy last year. He didn't have Kamara. Kamara got hurt. He didn't have Kamara. So, yes, he had McCoy for 90% of the games this season. But last season when Rattler was starting, who did he have? So we gotta share it both ways. Who did he have last season when he was thrust into the starting line?
I know who he had. He had Bruce Allen as his coach.
Exactly. That proves my point. Cap, he got Chris and Sheed hurt in the Tampa game because of hospital balls. Huh. What are you talking about at the end of the game when he got hurt? Look, I don't know if you know or not, but Tyler Shuck ended that game, and Tyler Shuck is the quarterback that threw the ball when he got hurt. So it's like, so that's basically like because he got hurt at the end of that game. So look, I'm just saying. And Chris Olave, like, when did Chris Olave get hurt? Like, are you talking about last season when Derek Carr was the starting quarterback? Spencer Rattler threw 0 passes to Chris Olave last season. Last year, first half, 2024, Sheed and Chris got hurt. Thought you were talking about last year. Last year, Derek Carr is the one. Last year, Derek Carr is the one that got Chris Olave hurt. Like, Spencer Rattler didn't. Like, that was the first game of Derek Carr being back. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't know what point you're trying to say. Like, I am talking about last year. Like, Sheed got hurt against the Chargers or the Chiefs, which are 2 games that Derek Carr played. Well, no, he played against the Chiefs, but the Chargers. I mean, he didn't even get hurt off of the hospital ball. Shaheed actually got hurt from practice. Let's see. Where are the Tyler haters at? My goodness. Kick rocks. Cry fail cannons. Cry second years. Cry Panthers. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, they can kick all the rocks. I'm so having pumped for this. Yep. Now, Rattler had as many yards as Shuck did against the Panthers. Rattler was our starter. Hold up. Nah, Rattler had as many yards as Shuck did. Okay, so Rattler had as many yards as Shuck did against the Panthers. Rattler was our starter, first Bucs game. Yeah. He was our starter. And Rattler had as many yards as Shuck. In fact, actually, Rattler technically, I think, finished the game with more passing yards than Shuck. So, and I love both of these QBs. I love Rattler. I love Shuck. But just to say that one guy is better than the other, which obviously we know Shuck is better, but just to say that Rattler was trash. Okay, let me ask you a question. If Tyler Shuck was the starting quarterback last season with Kevin Austin Jr., or no, with Marcus Valdes-Scantling as the number 1 receiver, Kevin Austin as his number 2 receiver, Jamal Williams as his number 1 running back, or was that the year? Was Jamal Williams on the team last year, or was it the year before? I don't remember. But if Jamal Williams is your starting running back. Juwan Johnson is your starting tight end. If Tyler Shuck has the same numbers as Rattler last season, would it be impressive, or would the other one be better? Just ask yourself that. Like, Rattler, was Rattler great? No. I'm not arguing that. What I am arguing is that we can't just poo-poo on a guy for not doing as well as another one. Like, both quarterbacks find different ways to be successful. Spencer Rattler did not have, like, Spencer Rattler only had one turnover the first 5 weeks of the season. But then he played against the Bears, and, he shit the bed that day. But if you take that Bears game out of the equation, Rattler played pretty solid. Okay. Let's see. Even though it was one game sample size, Rattler had 3 or 4 good games in his career with his defense. Has balled out. I think Shuck does a little better. We maybe go 7-10, beat Tampa and Commanders. But last season against Spencer, y'all want to talk about the Commanders game? Spencer Rattler, Jake Hayner started that game, and we were down 17 to freaking nothing. Spencer Rattler enters this game, and we lose 20-19. So what? Is Spencer Rattler going to help Juwan Johnson learn how to catch the ball in the 2-point conversion? Like, if Juwan Johnson catches that ball, we beat the Commanders. In the last game against Tampa Bay, what was Rattler supposed to do? We were supposed to lose that game so Atlanta missed the playoffs. Yeah. Let's see. Where is Derek Carr coming back? We got to get rid of that contract and get a draft pick back in return. Get rid of the old guys for many picks. That's how you build going forward with the young guns. I don't think Derek Carr is coming back. I know the Colts called him before they signed Phillip Rivers. I don't think he's coming back. Carr's going to the Raiders next year. Who will retire with them? Maybe. Dad, how do you feel on the situation with Shuck and Rattler?
I feel that they're both still young quarterbacks, so they both really have to develop. Even Rattler, he's still developing. He could develop into a solid quarterback. In another year or two, he'll be a much better quarterback than he is now. Whether he's, a backup or a starter for another team, they both still need to develop.
Yeah, I'm not shutting down the argument that, look, Rattler, this was the same conversation we were having last season with Rattler. It's like, Rattler, was he doing great? No. But he wasn't doing bad. Anyways, let's talk about the Saints defense now. Demario Davis, 4 tackles, 1 assist. Chase Young, 4 tackles, 2 assists, and a key sack. Cameron Jordan, 3 tackles. Pete Werner had 3 tackles and 1 fumble recovery. Jonas Anker, 3 tackles, 3 assists. Jordan Howden, 3 tackles, 2 assists. Kool-Aid McKinstry, 3 tackles, 1 assist. Quincy Riley, 2 tackles, 1 assist. Jonathan Bullard, 2 tackles and 4 assists. Alontae Taylor, 2 tackles, 1 assist. Brian Brzee, 1 tackle, 2 assists. Devon Godchow, 1 tackle, 1 assist. Chris Rumpf II, 1 tackle, 1 assist. Nathan Shepard, 1 tackle, 1 assist. And Jonah Williams, 2 assists. How do you feel about the Saints' defense today?
I feel like we had a pretty good game. Anytime you can keep an opponent under 20 points at 17, you're really doing a good job. And like you mentioned, that Chase Young sack, that was a grown man sack there. I think I got up. I had to stand up for that one. That was nice. We need more of that. That was the only sack of the game for the Saints. So we definitely need more of that. But it was a grown man sack, and it was in a key play in the game that pretty much stopped that drive to set the stage for us winning this football game.
Yeah, with the Saints, that sack, and look, when we re-signed Chase Young, I said this and I'll say it again. Chase Young always delivers in key moments. Always. And what did he do today? He was quiet. But the light started to shine. The game was coming to the close. And what did Chase Young do? Got a sack. Boom. When he sacked Bryce Young, I was like, we're about to go win this game. We're about to go win this freaking game. Boy, that's what happened. Ethan said, it's fair opportunities. I feel like we see Shuck take minimum snaps in preseason games besides the first 3 drives of each game to give him some reps to gel with the 1s and 2s so we're prepared. Yeah, I mean, both of the guys played almost as equal time in the preseason, but yeah. Anyways, yeah, the defense, man, as a whole played like there was some plays like Quincy Riley. You can't be getting burnt on that touchdown. Um, Alontae Taylor, there was this one play where this man got like this. I didn't know if it was offensive interference or if this dude was trying to draw a flag, but this dude felt like. How does the receiver go this way and you're over here on the ground? Like, that just made no sense. I thought you loved the Panthers, but hey, man, we still won. In fact, Bryce Young, he is now I think he's 1-5 against the Saints now in his young career. So yeah. So about the Saints special teams unit. Evan Hull had 3 kick returns for 72 yards, 24 yards of return. Longest was a 29-yard return. Mason Tipton had 1 kick return for 19 yards, 19 yards of return. Longest being the 19-yard return. Charlie Smythe was 2 for 2, 100%. His longest was a 47-yarder, was 2 for 2 on extra points, and had 8 points, and obviously hit the game-winning field goal at the end to put us over the top. And Kai Kroger, 2 punts for 95 yards, 47 and a half yards a punt. 1 inside the 20. His longest punt was a 58-yard punt. How do you feel Saints special teams unit did on the day?
Well, game-winning field goal. Got to give him an A for that. But the Panthers kicking off. It looked like it was scared of Tipton, but it was kicking it away from Tipton, kicking it to the young guy Hall. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Like Tipton, had that big run back last week, so he's kind of getting a reputation of you might not want to kick it to him because that could happen.
Yeah. One thing the Saints know how to do, they know how to find some great special team return men. Like we had Deontay Hardy, then we had Deontay Hardy, then we had Rashid Shaheed, then we had now we have Mason Tipton. All right, Ethan says some people are already joking for people to make their Drew Brees jersey inside out because Shuck is 6 and Brees is 9. I hear so many people saying he is a experiment in a lab gone hair-wise. Yeah, I mean, I think some people are just saying that so they can save money. But yeah, I'm wearing a Drew Brees jersey right now, so maybe this is the good luck jersey. I don't know. No overhype, but let's give this man at least 20 game sample size. Well, 20 games, that's like a sample of 2 seasons. So, I mean, obviously, he's going to get 20 games. I think, we just have to see how he progresses. Panthers, Bryce Young, 15 for 24, 163 yards, 1 touchdown, was sacked 1 time, had a 96.4 rating. How do you feel that poor 5'9", 5'10" dude Bryce Young did today?
I mean, he got off some lucky shots. I mean, that one where the guy you just said got burnt. I mean,
Quincy Riley
got burnt. He dropped it in the bucket so perfectly. I mean, the sun shines on a dog's ass every now and then. I mean, so there was that, and then there was the one where there was a busted coverage on the left side, and he got a bunch of yards on that one. And just the main thing with him is that we broke contain and let him run for first downs time and time again. So he did a good job on that, or we just fudged up on that. I'm not sure. I got to look at the tape.
Yeah, Ethan brings up a good point. In fact, hold up. Ethan said Bryce has not had a 200-yard game against us in his 6 games against us in 3 years. Our defense owns him. And yeah, if we look, hold on, I'm trying to see if we can see his stats versus the Saints. Because, yeah, so look, Bryce Young, he is 1-5 against the Saints in his career. In 2023, he had 153 yards and 137 yards. 2024, 161 yards, 171 yards. 2025, 124 and 163. And he has only 3 touchdowns and he has 3 touchdowns and 4 interceptions against us. So yeah. Tyler Wiggs says, LOL, we turned Bryce Young into Pumpkin. F Bama, go Tigers. Yeah, he's a Bama QB, so he had to feel that punishment. Our defense has achieved a lot. It brings pressure, just cannot sack. Too many broken plays that happen that could be stopped. Yeah, there was one play, I think it was the 4th down play in the first half, where Carl Granderson had him, but he just whiffed. But yeah. Panthers running game. Bryce Young, 7 carries for 49 yards, 7 yards a carry. Longest run was a 15-yard gain. Rico Dowdle had 16 carries for 49 yards, 3.1 yards a carry, a touchdown. 8 was his longest run. Chuba Hubbard, 6 carries for 29 yards, 3.6 yards a carry, and his longest run was a 10-yard gain. How do you feel the Panthers' run game did against us?
They held up pretty good. I mean, they were very productive. I just wonder, what did Chuba Hubbard do to get in the doghouse? I mean, is Dowell that much better than Chuba Hubbard? I mean, I thought Chuba Hubbard was the starter last year. What did he do to lose his job?
I mean, Rico Dowdle had like over 200 yards one game, and they were like, oh, shoot. But yeah, I mean, the Panthers' run game really did nothing. Ethan says, do you think we need to trade 8K? He is losing a step. He is too slow and doesn't go forward like he used to for breaking tackles. Dad, I'm going to let you start this one. Do you think we should trade away Alvin Kamara?
I mean, there's not much you're going to get for 30-year-old running backs. I mean, with a 7th-round pick, I mean, I don't think you'll get much. So let's stop talking about it.
I would probably trade Kamara, to be honest, because, you can see what you can get for him. I would even take a 6th-round pick because, Devin Morris. All right. Tyler Wiggs says, may I ask you, when can we see more than 20 points a game? I want to see more TDs. Try again next season. When we have guys in 2022, second game proved it. We lost it because he didn't go out of bounds. We lost 17-16 critical 2-yard pickup. That was not him. That was Mark Ingram they're thinking of. Mark Ingram is the guy that famously ran out of bounds. And it's not that he didn't go out of bounds, it's that he did go out of bounds. Because if he didn't go out of bounds, the clock would have kept running, and it was Mark Ingram. So, yeah. Panthers receiving. Jalen Coker led the day, 4 receptions for 60 yards, 15 yards of reception. Had 1 touchdown, longest was a 32-yard gain. 4 targets. Xavier Legette, 2 receptions, 39 yards, 19.5 yards to catch. Longest was a 34-yard gain, had 3 targets. Tedero McMillan, 2 receptions for 25 yards, 12.5 yards to catch. Longest was 21 and had 4 targets. Tommy Tremble, 2 receptions for 13 yards, 6.5 yards to catch. His longest reception was an 8-yard gain and had 4 targets. Chuba Hubbard, 1 reception for 9 yards, 9 yards to catch. Longest reception was a 9-yard gain and had 1 target. Jimmy Horn Jr., 1 reception for 7 yards, 7 yards to catch. Longest was a 7 and had 1 target. Jatavion Sanders, 2 receptions for 5 yards, 2.5 yards to catch. Longest reception was a 6-yard gain and had 2 targets. Rico Dowdle, 1 reception for 5 yards, 5 yards to catch. Longest reception was a 5-yard gain and had 1 target. So Ethan says, I say against the Titans we put 31-16. I mean, I could maybe see it. We played the Jets this week. I think we could easily put up 30 on the Jets. I mean, the Jets gave up 40 points to the Jaguars in 3 quarters. So yeah, I think we can easily score against the Jets. All right, let's see. We put up 27-12 against the Jets. They will have a couple of explosive kickoff returns that will get them some garbage time points, but they are the best team at punt and kickoff returns. Yeah, that's the thing. But I think the Saints are probably one of the better special team units now that we have. What you call it? Charlie Smythe. So yeah, how do you feel the Panthers are receiving today?
I mean, it was almost halftime, and McMillan didn't even have a target yet. I don't even know if he had a target in the first half. So we were doing a good job on him. And Jalen Coker, made some plays. But other than that, we pretty much shut the receivers down.
Yeah, they didn't even do much. I mean, if you take away Jalen Cover's touchdown, the receivers did nothing. So, I think the Jets still haven't gotten a single interception against an opponent. Weird stat if it's still true. It was 2 weeks ago. Well, I think I could just find that out. Yeah, because I remember there was a storyline that the Jets didn't get an interception. Or I don't even. It was more than an interception. They didn't get a single takeaway. For when they were, I think they were the first team in NFL history to win 0 games along with 0 takeaways, which kind of mind-boggling. Let's see, Jets defense, interceptions. Yep, they still have 0 interceptions. So poor Jets fans. Tyler Shuck better not be your first quarterback that you pick off. I swear, Jets, y'all better continue to be the Jets. But yeah. Panthers defense, Nick Scott, 6 tackles, 4 assists. J.C. Horn, 6 tackles, 1 assist. Mike Jackson, 5 tackles, 1 assist, and 1 forced fumble. Charles Smith Wade, 3 tackles, 3 assists. Bobby Brown III had 3 tackles, 3 assists, and half a sack. Trevon Moehrig, 3 tackles, 2 assists. Christian Roseboom, 3 tackles, 3 assists, and 1 sack. DJ Woonham, 2 tackles, 2 assists, 2 sacks. Lathan Ransom, 1 tackle, 1 assist. Derek Brown, 1 tackle, 3 assists. Travis Gibson, 1 tackle, 1 sack. Ashawn Robinson, 1 tackle, 3 assists. Princely Human did nothing. I just wanted to say that name. That's all. That's the only reason why I said it. Nick Scorton had 1 assist and half a sack, and Trevin Wallace had 3 assists. So, how do you think the Panthers defense did today against the legendary Tyler Shuck?
Well, they played well most of the game, especially the first half. Then we got them in that third and fourth quarter pretty good. But for them, it was all about the sacks. I mean, they got 5 sacks, which, our middle of the line, really sucks right now. So it's not totally surprising. We have to clean that up. But, yay for them, 5 sacks. Good job.
Yeah, it was something. Hold up. And I remember before the game, we were saying how before the game, Panthers defensive line haven't gotten that many sacks, and they go ahead and get 5 sacks against our trash offensive line. But yeah, Ethan said, is Neal week to week or is he on IR? I just looked it up. He is currently week to week with a potential multi-week absence, but he is week to week. And yeah, Tyler Shuck hurt his jaw and had back spasms, so that's mainly why Rattler came in at the end to throw that ball away. But hey, man, the W is a W. Panthers special teams unit. Chuba Hubbard, 2 kick returns for 50 yards, 25 yards to return. Longest was a 27-yard return. Rico Dowdle, 1 return for 23 yards to return. Longest being a 23-yard return. Trevor Etienne actually had a kick return that went across the 50, but it was a flag in Carolina, so thankfully that got wiped off. But he had 1 return for 25 yards to return. Longest was a 25-yard return. Trevor Etienne also had 1 punt return for 16 yards return. His longest return was a 16-yard return. Ryan Fitzgerald was 1 for 1, 100%, as long as it was the 40-yard field goal. 2 for 2 on extra points and scored 5 points. And Sam Martin had 3 punts for 142 yards, 47.3 yards a punt, 2 inside the 20. His longest punt was a 56-yard punt. So how do you feel about the Panthers special teams today?
It wasn't so special. I mean, Etienne had a electric return, but that was brought back because of a penalty. Yeah, if they would have had that, they would have been, in good position on that drive. But nope, it wasn't too special.
Yeah, they just, if you take away that return, which you have to because it didn't count, they did nothing. Yeah, so now let's look at the team stats. Saints had 337 total yards, 256 passing yards, 81 rushing yards, 5.3 yards per play, 27 first downs. They were 6 for 11 on third downs, 1 for 2 on fourth downs. They ran 63 total plays, allowed 5 sacks, had 2 punts, 9 penalties for 78 yards, something we still have to clean up. Had the ball for 31 minutes and 44 seconds. had 33 tackles, 2 for 2 on field goals, and 2 for 3 inside the red zone. Panthers had 281 total yards, 154 passing, 127 rushing. They averaged 5 yards per play. They had 15 first downs. They were 7 for 14 on third downs, 2 for 3 on fourth downs. They ran 56 total plays, allowed 1 sack, punted the ball 3 times, had 11 penalties for 103 yards, lost 1 fumble, had the ball for 28 minutes and 16 seconds, had 35 tackles. They were 1 for 1 on field goals and 1 for 1 inside the red zone. Ethan said Chuck was peaking whenever it mattered. I don't care if we commit penalties just as long as we pick up the third and longs. I'm happy. That's why Devon Vele was huge for us on third and longs. And he was huge for us. He wasn't big. He was huge. So, you have anything else to say about, this game?
No, it looks like we, dominated most of these stat categories. So it's not surprising we won this game. A lot of times we look at the team stats and don't really tell us much, but it told us a lot in this one. And who dat? That's what I want to say. Who dat?
Yeah. Now, if we look at Tyler Wigg said, shout out to the Hurricane Mike Show. Who that fan from Wisconsin? Shout out to you, Tyler Wigg. You could have did anything else with your time, but you decided to spend your Sunday night with, us. You could have been doing anything. You could have been at the store. You could have been at, a friend's house. You could have been with a cousin, but you decided to spend your night with my pops and I. So shout out to you. Ethan said, I think we had the ball for 19 or 20 minutes with 2 drives combined. I was shocked the best execution we've put up with them and the Bucs in the fourth quarter. Like, wow, that is a clutch Sheen almost did. Yeah, there was one drive where we had 95 yards. So it's like, and that was the longest drive of the season. So yes, the Saints balled out today. And against the Dolphins, as long as he doesn't get hurt, I see him being a long-term starter like a Justin Herbert, but a tad better, not getting nervous or hot flashes. I mean, yeah, maybe. But, so now the Panthers are currently the 9th seed in the NFC, as they fell to 7-7. And the Saints, we're already eliminated. We're currently 13th in the NFC with a 4-10 record, but it's really irrelevant. So, but you know what? Look, I don't care. Look, I think the Saints could finish as high as I think the 9th seed. You know how crazy it would be if the Saints are finished with the 9th best record in the NFC after being 2-10. I understand 9 teams can't make a playoff, but it'll be something. But yeah, so shout out. Let's give our shout outs. Shout out to Jerry, Connor, Atlanta Falcons Fandemic, Ethan supports every fan 5689, and Tyler Wigg for hopping into the chat. Dad, where can they find you?
Mic'd Up YouTube page and on the Hurricane Mike Show every week.
Also, more breaking news. The Pelicans won today, too.
Woo!
This is probably the most rarest day in New Orleans history.
I know, right? Has that happened this year yet?
No. Man, the Pelicans and the Saints won on the same week. No, not the same week, the same day. That's crazy. But yeah, you can also find me at Hurricane Mike, Kyle Phelps, and Keeping It Real Who That Sports Podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, turn the bell on so you don't miss another upload. Dad, we're going to leave them as always with a who dat. And don't be a what?
Don't be a Falcons fan. Just don't.
Amen to that. We beat a team that they lost to twice.
2 times.